Hey guys, how's it going? Do you guys hear the birds? I love that bird right there, that whistle. That one. Yeah, but you gotta appreciate the little things in life, you know? When everything is really not little, every moment in life is magical. We are surrounded by magic, we are surrounded by art, we are magic, we are the universe, we are infinite. It's just so beautiful. And today I want to talk to you guys about a subject I think something that both men and women deal with. We all deal with this, and I still deal with it as well, is crying. And thinking that there's something wrong with crying, thinking that crying makes you emotionally weak, you know, makes you inferior or is a bad thing. It's something to be ashamed about. But in honesty, it takes a lot of strength to cry. A lot of the things that, you know, we categorize as weak-minded, or we categorize as, you know, as weak or feminine, which I don't know why feminine is a bad thing, because women are amazing. I mean, women give birth. We would not be here without women. Even nature, we call it Mother Nature. So feminine is not a bad thing. And we all have both masculine and feminine energies within us. And when we can balance those energies, we can become our best versions, because then we can be analytical and, you know, and be able to figure things out. We can be grounded, but as well we can also be very spiritual and very imaginative and very creative. So we got to balance out those energies. Also very nurturing as well, so that way we can nurture ourselves and, you know, take care of the planet and take care of our loved ones. So without both energies, we are incredibly out of balance. And the world right now is really out of balance right now. Both men and women are dealing with a lot of masculine energy, and we're kind of like leaving out the feminine energy because we're calling it weak. You know, nobody wants to cry anymore. One thing I love to do is I love to make people cry. And that sounds bad, but not cry like as in I will hit them. No, I will hit them in their heart. You know, I will talk to them. It's not even really about me just talking. It's about them talking. It's about them expressing who they are. It's about them expressing the things that have happened in their life. It's about them expressing those things that they have kept hidden for so long, the true emotions. There is no shallow talk with me. I cannot do shallow. If we're having a shallow conversation, I have to leave. Shallow conversations are very draining, because I'm a very deep soul. I'm a very old soul, and I want to go deep. I want to talk about the things that truly matter. I want to talk about, you know, your deepest, darkest secrets. I want to talk about the things that keep you up at night. I want to, you know, talk about what's, you know, going on in your dreams. That's what I want to talk about. Those are the things that really, if we tackle those things, the things in the dark, there is beauty in darkness. Yes, the light is good. It's good to be happy. It's good to be love your life and everything like that. But there is dark for a reason. There is night for a reason. It's time to rest. It's time to rebuild. It's time to get ready, you know, for the next day. It's time to get ready for the next stage, and we get ready for the next stage by going through the darkness, by going through the storm, and then when we come out, we see the rainbow, and it's all beautiful and everything. But the darkness is beautiful as well. There is beauty in darkness. So cry. There is nothing wrong with crying. I think crying is one of the hardest things for us to do, and I think we should do it more. I was singing Moana in the car after dropping my mom off at the airport today, and I pretty much only slept for like 2 hours, so I'm here. But yeah, I was just singing Moana. That movie is such a beautiful movie, and it speaks to each and every single one of us, because it talks about us, you know, literally expressing ourselves. It talks about us following our dreams, even though we're being told not to every single day. Every single day we're being told that we cannot do what we want to do. We're being told it's impossible, it's impractical. We're being told to stop dreaming. It's funny though, but when you're little and you're in kindergarten, they're always talking about like dream big, you can be anything you want. But as you get older, it becomes the opposite. It's like, nope, you gotta be realistic, you gotta be an adult, you gotta be responsible. Man, how boring is that? But I also gotta thank you guys, man, my subscribers. I thank you so much, because there is no Hear Me Raw without you guys, honestly. You know, if you guys weren't there listening to me, this would just be raw, you know? It's like, does anybody hear the tree if a tree falls in a forest? Does anybody hear it if there's nobody around? So I'm glad that you guys are listening to me, and I'm glad that I can express myself to you guys. I'm learning a lot from you guys, and I'm having so much fun with this. And really, I'm going deep, I'm going within, I'm sharing my innermost feelings with you guys, so that way you guys can do the same, because we don't want to hold so many things in. There's something I call emotional constipation. It's a true thing, and many of us are emotionally constipated. We're so emotionally constipated that it shows everywhere. It shows in our face, it shows in our bodies, and it really does. As within, so without. So when we're emotionally constipated, it will affect our bodies in weird ways. You might even get constipated. So you might get like acne. Your body will start acting up because you have all these emotions, all this energy within you, but you're not releasing it. And one of the best ways to release it is to cry. You can laugh as well, and you can, of course, if you have anger, like hit something if you have to. Release it. Don't hold it in. Find a practice: meditation, martial arts, yoga, breathing. There are ways to release the energy. That way you don't just hold it in within you and then get so constricted that you lose your energy, you lose your life force, you lose the will. Like, you'll get so constipated that you can't even follow your dreams anymore. Yes, that emotional constipation leads to life constipation. So cry if you have to. Crying is not a bad thing. In fact, if you're able to cry in front of people, I believe that you're getting stronger. You're getting stronger. It takes a lot of strength to be able to be that vulnerable around people. The most sensitive things are what it's taking like the most strength to do. To be vulnerable with people, to be honest with people, to be authentic with people, to be yourself around people. These things are hard. These things are not easy. You might do that and then people are thinking, like it's easy, but it's easier. It's a lot easier to just go with the flow. It's a lot easier to go with the grain instead of against the grain. But we have to go against the grain. We have to follow the path less traveled in order to really be who we are. We have to go where we are afraid to go. So fear is good. Like, fear is good in some aspects. Don't let fear control your life. But when you fear something, there's a good chance that you really need to face that fear. Face it. But just don't let fear control you, and let love guide you. And when you really are in touch with your heart, you'll be able to release your emotions, and you keep working and working and working. But if you really feel the need to cry, just don't hold it in and just cry. It feels so good to just cry and then let it out, after you've been holding things for so much. And we have been holding things for a long, long time. I know that I have a lot of releasing to do. In fact, the name of the channel, Hear Me Raw, it was about releasing, because I was so constipated that I could not even raise my voice. Like, they put me in front of people to say, and I was saying that I did not belong, because I felt like I did not belong. And I was in the middle of the class, and it was my class being taught by my good friend Aaron Wilson about what's stopping you. And I was told to raise my voice. I was told to say I belong louder. Like, I belong. Like, I'm supposed to speak it and say louder, but I couldn't. I could not raise my voice. I could not raise it. So I was in nature. I was sitting on a rock, and I was like, man, I was thinking about, like, why can't I raise my voice? Why couldn't I do that? Like, what's stopping me from, really just expressing myself, And then I decided to just scream. And I screamed like 5-6 times, which is like top of my lungs out in nature. And then that's where the name Hear Me Raw came from, because I was like, hear me roar, but like raw, because the raw foods is what led me to be, to go out into nature. It's what led me to really start to discover myself, to discover who I am. So hear me raw, that's where it came from. And I want to hear you guys raw, uncut, uncensored, like raw. Like, we filter too much nowadays. I do filter my videos and filter my pictures, but the content, what I'm saying, this is raw. I'm not writing anything down. This is just coming from my mind, It's flowing. It's flowing, and every time I do a video, it gets easier and easier, and I'm just less afraid to speak my truth. I'm less afraid to say things. Like, I can say whatever I want, and that's the beauty of my channel. I don't like to restrict myself. I don't like to put myself in a box. Freedom, baby. Freedom doesn't have to be just like doing the craziest things you want. And I think the best form of freedom is expressing who you are and expressing yourself, and you can do that through speaking, through art, through music, through whatever you're doing. You can express yourself every day just by being, express yourself by going out into nature, by smelling the flowers, by doing things that people might think is weird, but you don't care because that's what you want to do. If you want to hug a tree, go hug a tree. Don't care what anybody else says. You know how good it is. You know how beneficial it is to hug a tree, and you know that the trees, without a tree, we only have half a lung. The trees complete us. They are part of us. The bees are part of us, because without the bees, we have no food to eat, So we are not separate from anything here. And all this separation is just ridiculous, and it's causing us so much anxiety, so much stress, and so much unnecessary things, and we have to let those things go. And you can start letting go by crying if you need to, releasing those energy, releasing those emotions. Don't hold it in. No need to. Let it go. Be light. Fly. Fly with me. It's my video for the day, guys. What are your thoughts on crying? Do you think it's feminine? I think it's like powerful. Like if you're crying, I'm just like, man, come on. Like I love to be like that person that you can just come in, you can cry on my shoulders. Go ahead, release what you have to release, so that way you can move on and you can, you can fly, you can soar. Because you cannot soar if you're being held down by your emotions. And emotions, all of them, we're here to express all the emotions. So let's not hold them in. Let's fix our faces. Let's stretch out our face, like, let's be loose. Let's jump around. Let's be flexible. That way we can flow through life effortlessly, the path of least resistance. If you like this video, hit the like button below. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.